What is up, everyone? I'm very excited to do a video on the book The Big Short by Michael Lewis. Now, I didn't want to do a video on YouTube about this book because it's kind of technical and a bit complicated. Although, I do think that anyone can read it and understand it. And if you're just new to this sort of stuff, the book explains everything in depth, so even you could understand this. However, then I realized that they were doing a movie on the book, which is incredible. They have all these A-list celebrities: Brad Pitt, what's his name, Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell. The list goes on of these incredible A-list celebrities doing a movie on this book, The Big Short. So I thought, if they could do a whole movie on this book and simplify it for a mainstream audience, I can do this YouTube video. And that's just incredible. This author is very well known, and he is just highly recommended across a lot of different business niches. A lot of top entrepreneurs read his books and recommend him. And he's such a storyteller, and it's very clear that his previous book, which was converted into a film that starred Brad Pitt, called Moneyball, because that did very well. Now they're doing A Big Short, which I just think it'll do very well just based off the trailer. I mean, it's just an incredible story. And let me tell you what this book's about if you're interested in this. And personally, I recommend reading the book more than the movie. Why? Because Michael Lewis is Michael Lewis because of his storytelling. Now, he's a nonfiction author, but what he does best is business and finance nonfiction told in a storytelling way. And I mean, his storytelling rivals some fiction authors' storytelling, like some of the best fiction authors. And basically, this book, The Big Short, accounts all these different individuals, some of them on their own, some of them, in small groups. Over the course of 8 years, they research and find out that a housing crisis will definitely occur. And because no one will believe them, they bet against the system in order to try and make some money off of this thing. It's an incredible, exciting story, and there's a lot of more heartache in the story, and a lot of pain and struggle. And these people were, in a lot of ways, nerds themselves. Their whole lives they devoted to poring over the numbers and so forth. And they came from all sorts of different backgrounds. From this money manager who played hard rock music. Like, some of these people were incredible individuals. And so, I really recommend you check out this book because of that. The storytelling is just incredible in the book because it goes from this individual to that one, to this one, to this one, and it goes back and forth, and it's told chronologically. So it's just an incredible story. Now, the second big thing that I think you will learn from this book is that some things may just not be worth pursuing in the way that they were pursued. So this is one of the big reasons why Warren Buffett doesn't, really do this sort of stuff. And what basically they did was they shorted. And for a lot of you people who don't know what these words are, and you're new to this stuff, again, the book will explain it all. It's although it's complicated and technical, it explains it all in detail. But shorting is, the basic idea behind it is, if you see a stock and you know it's going to go down, then you want to short a stock to make money off of it. So if you short it and it goes down, you make money. If it goes up, you owe a lot of money, basically. So the big reason why Warren Buffett, and he reads a lot of Michael Lewis himself, the big reason why he doesn't short is, even if you know the direction of the stock, you don't know when that will occur. And it could go up and down in between, and that could screw you over. And you don't know when exactly it will finally go down to zero. You know it will sometime in the future, but you don't know when. So that caused a lot of heartache. And there's a few individuals in the story, some of which were just like so ingenious. Like, these people figured it out so early on. And they tried to talk to so many people. They went to the government. No one cared or bothered to care. No one bothered to read the 10,000 pages or look at the numbers. and no one listened to these people. And that's a common thing during bubbles. Like no one bothers. Everyone thinks things are fine because they're in the frenzy to make more money, or they're making enough money on an individual basis and they're greedy enough that they don't care about anyone else. So the basic idea was that, because these weren't stocks, they found a different way to short them, but it was basically a short. The issue was, and it's a very painful story, a lot of these people, they bled money for years and years. Some of these people, they called it like 6 years in advance. And they said, okay, it's definitely going to occur. I'm guessing at the very least in 2 years. So they waited. And in that time, like while they were waiting, in order to keep that short position, they had to pay an expense fee. And it was a pretty pricey fee. And, it just bled through and through, year in, year out. And it ended up, some of them ended up waiting 4 or 5 years, bleeding out money. And that's not the worst part. The worst part was that some of these individuals, they had basically, what's the word? Like some of them, they were part of a hedge fund, or they were managing money for investors. And these investors, they didn't understand things. So every year, these investors were very short-sighted. They didn't believe this guy, and they would hound this guy, verbally abuse this guy, send hate letters saying, "You just lost us money again this year. You lost us money." And this guy was telling him, "Just trust me. Just trust me. Like, it will happen. And when it does, we'll make a lot of money." And he ended up doing so. But the pain and heartache and emotional trauma that he had to put up with in order to finally get that money was just ridiculous. Even his own investors didn't trust him enough because they were retarded. Like, they didn't know any better. They didn't look at the numbers. They were very short-sighted. They were like on a year-by-year basis. And nowadays, like month-by-month basis. So, again, long story short, it's a great book if you want to be entertained, if you want to be informed about what occurred. I don't really know if this is the full story, but I'm telling you, the author did his research. He did a deep research on all the characters he could find on the story. And it's an incredible story. If you want to be informed, entertained about this stuff. Honestly, I am not an expert at this stuff, and I would have to reread the book to learn a lot of the specifics again. But it just reminds me that a lot of these banks, I mean, they're still kind of just screwing around, and it's just horrible. And if you like this book, I have a little bonus book I recommend as well. It's called Fiasco, and it's related. It's about the horrible stuff that investment bankers and investment banks do in order to make money and deliver zero value in the process, and how things have not changed and probably gotten worse. And it's just an incredible story. It's designed for beginners. It's by a different author, but I highly recommend that as well. And it's just an incredible story also of how you shouldn't just do a career just to make money. And the author of the book, Fiasco, is literally a guy who quit being an investment banker because he realized all his colleagues, and himself included, hated his job, despite the money that was being made. So it's just an incredible story, and it really makes me worry a bit about the future. Not in the sense of worry, but I feel like something. I mean, eventually in the future, something's gonna happen, like another big crash, because some of these investment banks are still just getting away with murder. So it's just an incredibly interesting story, and it's great for someone who is intermediate or beginner in this. As far as actual business advice, not the most, but incredible story. Check it out. Thanks for watching this video. Peace.